Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is of course the morning of the debut of a brand new Mythic banner, which means there's a brand new hero tracker, and I have brought it for you lovely summoners out there on the internet so that you can make an informed decision as to whether or not you should pull this time or maybe next time or just next year at some point. And maybe it's helpful. If you find it helpful, subscribe and come back for more. Do it. Just do it. So, we're going to take a look at the Fate Tracker. Of course, we will have a summoning session out for Mythic Plumeria tomorrow, Thursday, my time. I don't know what day it is for you. The 1st, I guess, of October. That's when our summon video will be out. And then I'm also kind of working on a what to expect video for a Fate channel that should be coming up early October as well. I have been swamped at work. I don't know if you knew, my boss left, so it's just me now. So I will try to get that out before a Fate channel. I'm shooting for the 2nd, so I guess we'll see how that goes. But hey, let's talk Hero Tracker, because that's why you're here. That's the whole point of this video. By the way, there should be a tweet pinned in the... not pinned. In the description. It should be listed in the description. If you want to take home your very own tracker graphic, you can check that out if you feel so inclined. So let's go ahead and look. October. Nothing has changed. And this is actually the only month that nothing has changed, which is kind of nice, I guess. So my initial thoughts on how October was looking, i.e. redlocked, with Crom in blue. It's overall, it's a pretty strong month. We've got Mira here, we've got Crom in blue, we've got Edelgard in green, and then units like Alm and Air in colorless. Robin is also there. The power creep has not been super kind to Legendary Robin, unfortunately. So I don't know that she's a whole lot worth your time at this point, unless of course you're very excited about Robin as a character, in which case roll for her, because that is a very decent-ish colorless pool. It's not the strongest possible colorless pool of all of the legendary and mythics that we have, but it's not bad. It's pretty decent. Green is also really, really good. Legendary Edelgard, I don't think I need to say anything else. Triple Gale Force nonsense. And then of course Thraseer. It's Thraseer. What do you want? Crom in blue. He's worth pulling on. If there was nothing else in blue, if it was just Donald's and I don't know, any other blue unit at like 3-star, it would be worth pulling for just Crom. He's that good. And then of course we've got Red. Red is also a pretty well-rounded pool, similar to how colorless kind of looks in my opinion. Yeah. October in a nutshell. Generally speaking, that'll be a legendary month. We won't be having a red legendary hero, and we will not be having a colorless legendary hero. We may be looking at a Fallen Corrin and a Fallen Leon to come back, which of course would mean that blue is open. Who could it be? I don't know. But we'll find out later, I'm sure. Why not? Alright, so, November. November, we have our first edition. And if you can believe it, it's Leif. No, not that Leif. The other one. The one with the bow. The colorless one. Him. He's back already. He is there in November alongside Legendary Corrin. Yikes. That's a bonkers colorless pool already. I'm genuinely surprised that Leif is coming back so quickly. That I was not expecting that at all. In fact, we didn't gain any months. Everything got filled through the months that were already present in last month's update. So crazy how we're filling all this stuff in. Red pool is remaining the same. Blue is remaining the same. Hell, of course, is holding down green. So far, a pretty open pool. I would not expect anybody from October to end up in November. So this is pretty much what the next 2 months are looking like in terms of legendaries and mythics that are coming back immediately. At the soonest, you may see someone from October in December, but I don't expect that to happen either. Once we take a look at December, you'll probably see why. But yeah, I think Ellawood and Sothis in red, pretty solid. Sothis is very good. Ellawood is also pretty darn good. Legendary Azora. If you want another dancer, if you want another dancer singer, your options there. She is obviously a very good singer unit, and probably worth your time if you don't have her yet. And Legendary Tiki, which BST wise, still good. The brand new integration of infantry BST has kind of, I don't want to say made her obsolete, but as far as she goes, you could probably find a 5-star that has similar BST with better movement, essentially. So maybe that's something to consider. Her skills are getting a little outdated. She's been around a little while, but still a really good unit overall. Hell, of course, is there. I think this is Hell's first recurrence. I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe not. I can't remember at this point. And then Colorless is obviously the really, really big winner in November. Corrin and Leif. Bro. I don't care what that third option is. You have no reason not to pull on Colorless. If you just want good units, you got them in the Colorless pool. Very, very strong. Very strong player phase in Leif and very strong enemy phase unit in Corrin. So kind of some nice balance there as well. I appreciate that, at least when you're rolling with them orbs. December. What's happening in December? There's a lot of open spots, but Brian, I thought you said nobody was coming back from October and December. I did say that, and the reason I say that is December is usually when we have that new book start. The current book, I believe, usually ends around like mid to early mid-November-ish. December is when we have a new book that starts, and I think by that point we're going to have a lot of 5-star pool to catch up on, especially since this month. There were a lot of weird 5-star normal pool picks. I'm not really sure what that was about, if I'm being honest with you. But I think they're probably going to have a decent amount of catch-up here, mainly because October and November are so clustered. Because if you factor in the new Legendary and Mythic, respectively, October you only have 2 5-star pool units, and in November you've only got 4. So that is maybe something to consider. We're still back in, I think, the spring in terms of that. So it's usually about 6 months apart. That seems to be what's happening. Of course, that can always change because IS does what IS wants. But I think December we're probably going to see more 5-stars rather than Mythics returning from October, November. And additionally, we'll have probably the new book unit taking place. The new book might start in late November too. I'm not sure. There's always this weird gap, and it has fluctuated in the past. But I think the books typically end between late October and early November and start between late November, early December. So that's, I guess, something to consider. We should have that wrap up. November, if I didn't say it before, is going to be a Mythic, obviously. And December will, of course, have a new Legendary hero. Yay. So Plumeria is coming back. That's her first resurgence. I would tell you that, pull on her if you want her. But currently there's no other red candidates. And it's genuinely so far out that it's very difficult to kind of like assume who's going to be from the normal pool pushed in here. So that's maybe kind of something to consider. I will say that by December, we're likely to start seeing some of the Brave units make a resurgence. I don't know if Brave Lysithea would be in the December range, but it's possible. So maybe just consider that. I do appreciate that Plumeria is there with Peony, however. That's exciting. So we have two of the fairy dancers showing up on the same banner. Woo! And then we've also got Silica and Green holding it down solo for right now. Colorless is interesting because that's when Bramimond is back, and Bramimond is worth your time. That's all I have to say about that. Duma's also there. Again, Duma, pretty decent mythic. He's coming back semi-early as well because he's on this banner right now that's happening in September, but it's basically October, so whatever. But he's coming back a little bit early too. Not as early as Leif, obviously, but that is what it is. So colorless, you know, in general, I would say December's looking okay so far. It's not anything spectacular per se, but it does look decent so far, especially if you're into OCs. You've got Plumeria and Peony in one. Next up, let's take a look at January. I know. So January is a little depressing. I'll be honest. January is a teensy bit depressing. Nothing really all that exciting happening in January. Lynn and Hector are back in green. They've been around forever. Ike and Roy and other Leif, Sword Leaf guy, they're full up in January. So that's something, I guess. This would be a mythic month if you're keeping track. So options are open and colorless, man. I don't know what they're going to do down there. We may actually see Corrin come back by then. I don't know. It's possible. They have tended to favor newer mythics and legendaries coming back sooner, unless you're Bramimond, and then they give you 6-month wait period. So there's that. So yeah, somebody from the earlier pools, they could come back in January here. Currently, Julia is probably the best unit on the banner, and she's the only one in blue. There will be no red mythic that month. That much I can tell you. It's also possible at some point they introduce another type of like legendary mythic character. I'm going to take January to talk about that because there's really nothing to highlight there. It is possible that we start to see a new version of the legendary mythic heroes. I don't know what that even looks like at this point. Similar to how harmonized units are basically like slightly different duo units. Mythics are kind of slightly different legendary units, categorized a little bit differently, obviously. Mythics tend to be more lore-based, also a lot more Fey OCs for some reason, over legendaries, and legendaries tend to be like what I call box art characters. They don't always have to be the main protagonist, but they're usually involved in box art at some point. So there's that. I don't know necessarily what the new form might look like. We might not get a new form. I would honestly prefer that we not get a new form, particularly because I feel like there's a lot of mythics that IS has not looked into yet, because the world of Fire Emblem is deep, all right, and lore runs deep in that world. So there's a lot to expand on within the Fire Emblem universe, across all the series within it. So I wish they would kind of explore that a little bit deeper before they start throwing more stuff at us. But game modes be game modes, and IS is never in short supply of those. So there's that. The only hope that I really have seeing at this point for them not doing it is the fact that they're making things like resonant battles. They have continued to make ether raids more accessible, and that means they're building upon the current games that the game modes that they have within the game itself, rather than just being like, oh well, this is a lost cause. Hey, here's this new thing, and by the way, you need this jacked up unit to even come close to scoring well in it. So that gives me hope. That gives me promise, at least. Let's see. What else do we have? February. February is stacked, too. If you notice a pattern, there's a lot of red units coming back at the beginning of the new year. So Altina, Hreed, Seliph is coming back. Seliph is here. I will say, if you want Seliph, pull him now, because February is a long time away. He's not getting the Leif treatment, okay? He's not coming back in 60 days. He's out there for several months. So pull on Seliph now if you want him. Who is that? Fjorm, Ephraim. We've seen these guys before. In fact, one of them you've gotten for free just from completing a story chapter in a book, which if you didn't know that, you can get a free Fjorm by completing a certain story chapter within a certain book. You should do that if you haven't done that yet. Gunthra, Yoon, and then Mila is also there. So I believe Seliph, Ephraim, and Yoon came back this month. This is where we had most of the units come back. Was in February, which kind of helps stick to that like 5 to 6 month out ratio that they've tended to kind of stick to. This, I guess, kind of holds true, except for a few oddballs that have popped back in and out. For example, Leif in January, that's when he was coming back. And now, finally, March. March. So far away. Hey, Lucina's back. If you want Legendary Lucina, do not wait to pull her. She is not back until March. That is a very long time away. Don't do that to yourself. If you want Legendary Lucina now, pull her. We've also got Erica back in red and Naga back in blue, as well as Lucina, and then literally nothing. There's literally nothing. There's no green, there's no colorless. So I would expect a lot of earlier characters from probably October, November to make their way back in March. Same with colorless. I would probably see Robin coming back around March. Maybe Alm, maybe Air. We'll have to see. So just kind of keep that in mind, I guess, as we move forward here. But these are your next 3 months. I think those are pretty much hard locked for who we're going to see. I don't see anybody in these months coming back any sooner than next year, being January. So if you want any of these guys, that's what you want to look out for. Of course, the ones that are on the banner now. The only one you don't really have to wait for is Leif and Plumeria, to be honest. But the way that the red pool looks currently, I would say Plumeria is a pretty safe bet to roll on now if you want her. December, still kind of up in the air. So those are my bits of advice for you at home on your summoning nonsense. Hey, if all of this looks good to you and you want your own little pocket copy to keep on your person at your time, be sure to check the tweet that is in the description. It'll take you to the image that I have out, and you can grab it there. Exciting stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this helped you out, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to share it with a friend, or, you know, whatever. We do have a subscriber goal that I don't think we're going to hit, but I'm dedicated and I'm willing to try. So there's that. Hey, happy October. We're almost there. I know, the year is almost over. We've almost made it through. Whew. Trying times. We'll have a summon video out tomorrow, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, on what to expect. FEH Channel October edition coming out the day after. So be sure to subscribe and come back. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what month you're most excited for. Could be something good. I don't know. Could be bad. Are you excited at all? I don't know. Let me know. Share your thoughts. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and until then, I will catch you next time.